Well, welcome to the show, Candace Devine. You are a songwriter on the Grammy-nominated album Wild Heart by Mindy Abair. You've been a backup singer for the likes of Christina Aguilera, a recognizable voice for film and television. You've opened for and or recorded with the likes of Ringo Starr, as we mentioned, Christina Aguilera, Adam Lambert, the Four Tops, Survivor, and Boyz II Men, to name just a few. It's fantastic to have you on the show. There's so much more to talk with you about what you do. So welcome to the show, and please tell us more.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. Yeah, as you mentioned, I am a singer, a songwriter. I tour, I record, I've done a lot of session work. I've made a living as a musician for pretty much my whole adult life. So
perfect. Where did you begin with your career? How did it all come about?
Yeah, I was going to college in San Francisco, and I started getting opportunities and a bunch of auditions and things. I'm born and raised from Los Angeles. And so, I kept tabs through the internet on different things happening. And as I was away at school, more and more stuff was coming to my plate in LA. So I transferred back to Cal State Northridge, where I met an incredible group of people, two of which ended up, they were choreographers at the time, young budding choreographers. And so when I graduated, actually, I don't think I had graduated yet. I started this job at a marketing agency at an advertising firm. And I got a call from my two friends who were choreographers saying, there's a private word of mouth audition for Christina Aguilera. You should go. And so I was at my 9-to-5 advertising job, and I told my boss I needed to go to the dentist.
Oh, wow.
and take a long lunch. I knew it was, like 2 days out. So I told her that I had an appointment and I was going to take a long lunch. And she said, that's fine. And I really had no expectations. I think one of the most beautiful things about artistry is when you just let yourself fall into the flow of things and don't set expectations on what something is supposed to be. It's so much easier to be truly yourself and, emit the things that you do best. So I went to the audition with absolutely no expectation, but I wanted to live the experience and audition for a major pop star. And I kept getting called back, and it was super exciting, but I had my job being like, how long? And I was like, oh, it turned into a root canal. Like, I don't know what to do. And they were like, just take the rest of the day. And I said, okay, thank you so much. I'll be in first thing tomorrow. And I went through like 6 or 7 rounds, and they just kept whittling it down. And then, it got to the last maybe 5 of us or something. And so they said, thank you, we'll be in touch. And so my friends who had given me the word of mouth audition never told Christina or anybody that they knew that they had referred me, because they wanted to know that if I made it, they wanted me to know that it was on my own, volition. Yeah. If I had not made it, they wanted to be able to go like, no harm, no foul. You did your best. It was great. But they weren't put in the middle of anything. So they took me out to dinner that night just to go, how did it go? What was the audition like? Like, blah, 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 blah. Did you see so-and-so? Christina was in the room. And we're sitting at this little sushi restaurant, and I get a call saying, you start Monday. So I went into my job the next day, and I had to fess up, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm a liar. I didn't have a dentist appointment, but I got this thing.
You told them?
I did because I had to quit. I had to not be there as of Monday. I had to go to rehearsals. So I said, I don't know what to do, but I can call the temp agency. I can find somebody to replace me. And shockingly, my boss, I was the executive assistant to the vice president of the ad agency representing Nestle and a slew of other accounts. And she was like, Candace, this is a once in a lifetime thing. I'm buying tickets right now. You get your butt out that door and you go keep your clothes on. That's what she said.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And that was kind of the beginning to all the things, because once that opportunity, exposed itself, there was really no looking back for me. I mean, I had gone to college for theater and acting and voice and all of these things. This was the thing I was passionate about doing. And although the ad agency was great and I loved it and was creative, it was by no means what I was trying to hopefully do. So when the opportunity knocked, I took it, and it's been a constant go ever since. Yeah.
Wonderful. I sang on Christina Aguilera's record.
Really?
Yeah, way back when she just got going, right?
Yeah.
And
she's immense.
I mean, she's awesome. You know what I mean? But now what kind of songs do you write? Let me ask you this: do you write any social conscious music?
I would like to say that my writing always has some element, because I write from a personal standpoint, which I mean, so many songwriters do. There's always some element of commentary for sure. I do think I make a very conscious effort to always put a hopeful spin on my lyrical content, because I'd like to believe with everything that cycles through our history, with all the chaos that humans put ourselves through time and time again, as you look through history, I find that, the commonality of what keeps us going in the right direction is always hope. People that empathize with a better future, that want humanity to feel equal and just and loved and cared about for exactly who they are, with no discrimination. Those thematics definitely always find a place into my songwriting. I don't know that I've written specifically a social justice song, but I've never not written a song without thinking about where we are in our climate, if that makes sense.
Well, the thing about it, you just named a bunch of stuff that you can write.
Yes.
Right. And we encourage you to do that. Tom, Ryan, and I, we're creating a genre that's always been there, but has never been a platform for it, right? So this is the first TV platform for this kind of thing. But at the same time, there's been 192 million social conscious songs that's been published, and we want to grow that genre, right?
Yeah.
So we like to ask you to participate.
Okay, I'm in.
Writing a social conscious song that can heal the world, basically, right? And you just named a bunch of things that could be titles and topics for social conscious music.
Absolutely. I mean, in that regard, thank you. Those thematics, and I accept that challenge. I'm happy to go back to my drawing board and my piano and work on a very specifically socially conscious, tune. But I will say that I think I would like to believe that most songwriters, maybe outside of the pop genre specifically, but I would like to believe that at least most of the songwriters I know, none of them sit down without thinking about, the world as it is, and the changes that need to occur from whatever time point we're at, because it's so not only compelling, but it sits on you right now, right? Like our world, it sits on you, the heaviness of all of the things we're going through. I mean, there's a fight for almost every lane in the best way. There's the LGBTQ community, there's the Black community, there's the Latin community, there is the Jewish community, the Asian community, there is the indigenous community, there are pay wage communities, there are work, environment communities. And I think that's such a motivating and brilliant thing, but it's almost overwhelming in a good way. So I love the idea of creating an actual genre that goes, this is where we put this energy in a place that people can tap into and be fed consistently with these messages of, hope and transformation and doing better. But I will say, to the circling back, is that I just, I would like to believe that artists in general are the pulse for moving those subjects along. So kudos to you guys. But I like, like I said, in all of my songs and all the songwriters that I know that there's no way to avoid it. So even though, like, in my head, I'm like, I don't know that I've sat down specifically to say I want to discuss this one element.
Right.
But I've never not sat down going, the world has lost its mind. Let's bring in some of those topics into a love story, or into a song of hope, or into a song of turmoil, because that is where we are.
I mean, it's all kind of social conscious. I mean, I've written for women's empowerment, cancer survivors, the environment, homelessness.
Exactly. Yes.
I've written for all of that stuff, but lately I've been trying to find good spirit in positive music, because that's what we need right now. People are tired of bad news, right?
Amen. Yes, for sure. And I think, to your point, with positivity laced through, I think there's a really beautiful way to, not even delicately, but to just get a message out, again, with that hopeful spin that although these things are transpiring, it's not the end of us. No, it's not the end of us. Every day is the beginning of us. You know what I mean? Because every day is one step into our future from where we've come from. Every day behind us is now the past. And so every day in front of us is the future, and it is the beginning. And every day we have to wake up and go, can I do better? Can I do better? And hopefully the answer is, the answer is absolutely. We can always do better.
Yeah, I'm writing a tune called "We Can Do Better." Right.
I love it.
Right now, Ryan, you got a question, son?
Yeah. So, outside of being an artist, a musician, you also own a production company. Is that true?
Yes.
Further west, right? Can you tell us more?
Yes. Yeah, actually, and to this subject, the impotence of starting my production company was really, I live in a fairly rural, it's growing so much, but a fairly rural town called Prescott. If you're just reading it, it says Prescott.
Arizona.
Yeah, it's Arizona. It's Prescott like biscuit. Through election cycles and all of those things, highly divisive time.
Mm-hmm.
And I started the production company because the thought that I had was, we've forgotten how to be together as a tribe of people, as just humans. We have forgotten. And if there's one place I have seen in my short lifetime that people forget the reasons why they're different and remember the reasons why they're the same, is at music concerts. And obviously COVID put a big fat ice pick into us being together and finding commonalities. So when the wave of COVID started to kind of lift, I had already created the production company and already put pieces in place. But I launched, it was 2022 this year, but I launched a major music festival in Prescott, Arizona with an eclectic lineup. I had Talib Kweli right next to what was supposed to be Winona Judd, but she ended up, her mother had passed away, so she had to cancel a couple days before. And we had, just a wide variety. We had LGBTQ performers, we had Black performers, we had, every genre you can think of, singer, songwriter, country, reggae. And what I saw happen in this kind of historic cowboy town, even on such a small scale, is I saw, probably, I'm making an assumption here, but very conservative cowboys with big old belt buckles and big old hats dancing right next to a gay couple waving a pride flag, for Fantastic Negrito, who's this amazing Black blues rock artist. And nobody saw anything but humanity.
That's right.
And the city even told me, they were like, for all the events that have happened in this town, probably over the last 5 years, yours is the only one with no complaints. None.
Oh.
And the answer to that, in my opinion, is because everybody had a moment to remember why we actually get along, where our spirits lie. They do lie in music. I tell people all the time, I'm like, the earth gave us music before humans figured it out. You can hear melody in the wind. You can hear the bird song. You can hear the trees making rhythm as they blow. We have music in our being of energy on this big rock. So I started the production company to create a space to provide events that remind people how to be together. Pure Imagination Festival, yeah.
So it's called Pure Imagination, correct? And so that was 2022. Are you doing it again this year as well?
Oh, yes. I am in the thick of all the planning as we speak. One thing, when you're an ambitious person with like big vision, go, that's a great idea. Then when you get into the trenches of all the steps it takes to make it happen, you realize how quickly it ages you. But it's worth it. It's totally, I'm here for it. So we're working on it right now. 2023 will be May 20th in Prescott on the lake. And it's stunningly beautiful outdoors. So we're excited.
I checked out the website. So all those artists, Talib Kweli, that was last year?
2022 in May, but we're prepping for 23. So one of the best rewards I think I had at the end of last year was when his agent called back and said, Talib had such a good time, and had he known he would be so warmly welcomed by such a large audience in that area, he would have come 2 days earlier and stayed 2 days longer and really soaked in the whole experience. And that to me, again, is what humanity looks like. When you go somewhere you think you shouldn't be or shouldn't be welcomed, and then get bowled over with the kindness and the generosity and the warmth of humanity, and nobody's looking at what outfit they're wearing or what skin is on their outside or who they want to kiss, suddenly you're like, oh, that's why I'm an artist. That's why I've pushed forward my social commentary. That's how I know I'm making waves in places that you would least expect. And in that same ripple effect, those waves have brought a whole community. He had one of the largest audiences of the whole festival. It was beautiful.
Sure.
It was wonderful.
Yeah. When do you feel like you're going to be announcing the lineups here? Any exclusives you want to drop for us? Any headliners?
I wish I could. I'm in the middle of all the negotiations, so I'd get myself in a whole tub of hot water. But I will tell you, it will follow the same train of thought. It is meant to be an eclectic and dynamic festival. My thought behind it is, if there is a little something for everyone, we are going to draw every kind of music goer. And as for drawing every kind of music goer, like I said to you, you're going to have cowboys standing next to reggae fans, next to hard rock fans, next to singer-songwriter fans. So it will be eclectic. We have some really, really exciting people brewing that I just need the confirmation on, but I'm thinking we'll be able to announce middle of January. So in a couple more weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Reggae, you do reggae, huh?
Yeah. Well, last year we had a local reggae legend. His name was Walt Richardson. He's in the Arizona Reggae Hall of Fame here. And he's done a lot of incredible social work. And he's just legendary here, and we love him. And he also played one of the most exciting sets, and people were dancing and having a great time. So we're working on some bigger named reggae artists this year that we're keeping tabs on. So I'll drop that nugget for you.
I produce reggae.
Oh, well, send me some things if I haven't already touched base on them. I welcome all thoughts and ideas, because I'm really invested in making this extra special. I mean, on a side note, as you guys well know, like Live Nation owns most everything. So it's really exciting to put on a festival that is independently owned and by an artist and a creator who loves artists and creators. And it's not just about the dollar signs, even though, it has to be at some point, but we've kept our ticket prices reasonable, and we intend to. And we're going to bring the best artistry we can and still make it an experience.
Wonderful. Tom, you got a question?
Well, lover as I am of a lovely segues beautifully into my next question. I've read actually on your details about you that you actually give a portion of the proceeds from your events and online catalog to benefit the arts program in Prescott Unified Schools District. So I really want to see if you can tell us a bit more about that, please.
Sure. I am a big fan of philanthropy and giving back. I think if you're going to do especially grand gestures like a festival, it's for the people. It might as well benefit the people. I love that you read about the school district. That's a huge education is a huge passion of mine. I think if you have access to learning how to read and write, and you have access to being taught things, and learning things and books, your world is immediately opened. It just is. The more you know, the more you can know. Additionally, with that, we also give money to environmental causes, as well as performing arts causes as well. So my top 3 interest levels of where I like to give back is in youth education, music education or capability, and environmental causes as well. We have a lot of indigenous land here, and if I'm going to borrow it to put on a festival, the least I can do is leave it cleaner than I found it and give back, on some level to maintain it. So yeah, those causes, we definitely are philanthropic, and we it's great to make money. Everybody needs to make money, and I have to make enough money to float the bills to keep it going. But with the extra, there's always a percentage, about 25% or maybe a little bit more, that I try to put into something else that can benefit someone else.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. Now, how do you know Double G?
He's the drummer in our band. We're in a band together called Ponderosa Grove, and he's amazing. Yes, it's not hard to, borrow Mariah Carey's old drummer. So it's, there's nothing, I'm not shortchanging myself. I literally went to the top of the list and was like, come be in a band. And fortunately, he's just one of the best humans I know. He's like a family member to me. We just get stuck in a corner talking for hours on end. And he's wise and brilliant and talented and kind and thoughtful. These are probably all the things but and so musically diverse and brilliant. I can have something in my head and he knows how to extract it somehow. So we just combine really well. Our musicality combines really well, and our general synergistic energies. We're just homies. We're good friends. We adore each other.
Gigi and I have been working together for over 30 years.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
good. You've kept him around too. That's the whole thing. Everybody I know has known him forever.
No, he's a sweetheart. And we had a serious rock band together back in the day, right? And I told him if Prince and Quincy Jones had a baby, it'd be called Prince. And so I called him up and said, Prince, Skyler. It was great. He knew, because we used to bust jokes so much. It was like amazing.
Oh, he's hilarious. Yeah.
They let him out. Ryan, you got another question?
I just wanted to continue with the Pure Imagination Festival, just because I wanted to just let everybody know you guys are doing early bird pricing right now for tickets, right? GA tickets.
Yes.
I was looking at the prices because I was like, okay, it's a music festival. You have prices for $65.
I know, it's insane.
I sit there and go, and VIP is $175. So I'm sitting there going like, what other music festival in the United States can you go to for $65 for an entire day? It's one day, right? It's a Saturday.
Yeah. Well, so just so you guys know, yes, it is an entire day. We are going to be planning a kickoff event for the Friday night before for this year, for 2023.
Okay.
I have a long 5 to 10 year business plan on the growth of this festival. So we anticipate it coming 2 weekends, probably by year 4. But we want, again, I am mildly cautious this way. I am a believer in do it right. Do it right. Like make the effort to do it right. So I was very clear that 2022 was our inaugural year. I set very high bars for myself, but I also try to, create room for an audience to go, I understand that I'm learning this too. I've never put on a major music festival, and I certainly want you to take the ride with me and enjoy it as much as I do, but I want it to be affordable. We also made children 7 and under free. Not that many people bring children to music festivals.
They should.
But they should, in my opinion. As a parent, you make the executive decision if these artists or a certain section of artists are or are not appropriate for your child. But by all means, expose children to this. Let them see people get along. Let them take in music. So all that to be said, I've kept the ticket prices as reasonable as I can functionally get away with.
Sure.
Yeah.
To encourage people to come experience this thing. I don't know if I'll be able to keep those prices forever, but I certainly will maintain a conscience. When I hear about people spending, $5,000 on a Bruce Springsteen show, I'm like, you have now eliminated all the working people on this earth. That's not a reality for most people unless they are literally starting a year in advance and just saving because it's the one thing they want to do. Yeah. But if you have a family, or if you are a young person, or if you are paying off student debt, that's just not realistic. So to your point, Ryan, yes, I have actively worked on keeping the ticket prices as low as I can functionally squeeze. The early bird tickets are $65. Yeah. They will go up to $85, but that will be where they max out, which is still like $50 under the lowest festival I can find.
I saw $65. I go, that can't be right. I was like, you're missing some zeros.
It's a zero.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And I will say, for anybody who's thinking about coming, it's such a beautiful location. It's in this park that's up next to the lake, and we have the granite dells, which are these incredible rock formations, and we have kayaking on site and camping on site, and we have hiking on site and disc golf on site. We have all these wonderful things you can do while you're there, along with 15 food trucks or more, and vendor village, and all these really exceptional things. So at night we have the projection mapping, so all the rock formations are lit up. It's really exceptional. I mean, nice. I will tell you this. I talked to my entertainment lawyer and I was like, here's the budget I have to do this music festival. And he laughed at me. He laughed at me on the phone. And he was like, good night and good luck. That's never going to happen. Yeah.
Well,
and then when he saw my accounting and saw that I pulled it off, he goes, who the hell are you? How?
Yeah.
I think when you reach out to human, good things happen.
Tom, you want to get another question in before we...
Well, only really to maybe you can let people know how they get hold of you, how they see what you've done, and what platforms are you on. Maybe a little bit more about that.
Yes. The easiest way to honestly get in touch with me is through my socials. I'm pretty active there. So at Instagram, it's Candace Devine. On Facebook, it's Candace Devine Music, I think, or through Ponderosa Grove. That's the best way to find me, Candace Devine, anywhere.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
It's such a joy. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
Show. The other thing I want to thank you is for having the children, because they need to see real human beings that's talented, playing instruments, right?
Yes.
Computers, that's cool. That's cool for that thing, but they need to see how talented people are from their soul and how they use their instrument.
Absolutely.
So, Candace, thank you so much for coming on and taking the time, your privilege of your time to come on and see us.
Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all get together, music can save the world. Yeah. Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all come together, music can save the world. There's an urgency facing our humanity.
Thank you so much for watching. To stay up to date, please click subscribe and hit the bell. You can also join our group on Facebook and find us on LinkedIn and Instagram.